Something about the way Darragh Ennis said it landed differently than most television soundbites. There was no grand declaration, no attempt to sound profound. Just a quiet, almost reluctant honesty from a man who has stood on both sides of the chase desk. He never judges anyone for getting a question wrong. The pressure is heavier than it looks from the sofa. But the moment a contestant passes on something with only a handful of possible answers, that, he admitted, still gets under his skin. You could almost feel the collective wince from regular viewers when those words surfaced. Because we have all been there. Sitting at home, remote in hand, shouting at the screen as someone stares at a primary color question or a simple which Beatle and chooses silence instead of a 50-50 or 1 in 3 shot. It is the kind of moment that feels small until it isn't. One pass, then another, and suddenly the team's head start is slipping away while the clock keeps moving. What makes Darragh's admission so compelling is the empathy threaded through it. He knows exactly how the lights feel. He knows the strange, isolating weight of realizing that millions of people will eventually watch you freeze. He has lived it. In 2017, he was the contestant banking a remarkable £9,000, only to watch teammates take lower offers. He never judged them then. He still doesn't. The money, he says, is monopoly money until it is actually won. Better a share of something than everything of nothing. That kind of clarity does not come from theory. It comes from having felt the heat yourself. Yet the gripe remains. When the options are limited and the question is straightforward, just take the stab. The psychology behind the pass is understandable. The mind locks onto the wrong answer and refuses to let go, so the safest route feels like moving on. But from the chaser's chair it reads as a missed opportunity, a small surrender that can change the entire shape of a round. Viewers sense it too. The atmosphere in the studio tightens. Bradley's voice softens with encouragement or rises with urgency. The contestants' shoulders shift. And somewhere in the living rooms of Britain, people lean forward, willing the player to risk it. There is something deeply human in that tension. Television quiz shows thrive on the gap between what we think we would do and what actually happens under lights. Darragh's comments quietly close that gap. He is not scolding. He is describing a frustration that only someone who has been both the hunted and the hunter can fully articulate. The same man who understands why a lower offer can be the smart mathematical choice is also the one who cannot quite accept a pass on an easy color question. That contradiction is not a flaw. It is the point. It also speaks to a larger truth about watching the chase. We are not only rooting for money. We are rooting for nerve. For the contestant who, with seconds left and the chaser closing in, still throws an answer rather than folding. Those moments stay with people long after the final score. They become the stories told at work the next day, the clips shared, the quiet admiration for someone who refused to go quietly. Darragh's words invite a gentler kind of viewing. Next time a player freezes on a limited option question, the irritation may still rise. But underneath it sits a new layer of understanding. The pressure is real. The cameras are unforgiving. And the person on the other side of the desk has already been there, felt the same weight, and still finds room for both compassion and that small, honest gripe. Perhaps that is why the comment lingered. It was never really about right or wrong answers. It was about the thin line between trying and not trying, and the strange respect that grows when someone who has walked both paths is willing to name the difference out loud. And once you hear it that way, it becomes harder to look at those passing moments the same again.